Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But there are mounting questions for the BBC and the journalist Martin Bashir tonight over what he did to secure his panorama interview with Princess Diana.
Do you think you'll ever be Queen?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts.
25 years on, Diana's brother Earl Spencer wants an apology. He introduced Martin Bashir to his sister in 1995, but says Bashir showed him faked evidence, and he claims the BBC knew about it and covered it up, and that only came to his attention very recently. A former graphic designer on the BBC's Panorama speaks on camera for the first time to explain what Martin Bashir asked him to do.
Martin asked me to make up a couple of bank statements about people being paid to do surveillance that he needed the following day.
Earl Spencer claims one of these fake bank statements was used to show how a member of his staff was being paid by a newspaper for stories about Diana. The other, he says, suggested the security services were also making payments in return for spying on her. Matt Wiesler says he was never told what the bank statements were for.
I quite clearly felt that I was the one that was going to be the fall guy in this story. All I want is for the BBC to come forward and honestly make an apology.
Operations new Director General Tim Davie issued a statement today. The BBC, he said, is taking this very seriously and we want to get to the truth. We are in the process of commissioning a robust and independent investigation. But Mr Bashir and the BBC stand accused of breaching the ethics of journalism a quarter of a century after the interview, which had major repercussions for the royal family.
They say Bashir tricked the singer just like he did to Princess Diana.
Michael Jackson's nephew Taj joins us now from Los Angeles. Thank you for your time. What do you think is wrong with your uncle's interview with Martin Bashir?
Well, I don't even know what's right about it in terms of, luckily my uncle had a separate camera filming during all the 8 months. And if you watch the take 2, what you weren't meant to see, Michael had a rebuttal video and you can totally see the journalistic integrity go out the door by Martin Bashir. He praised him behind the scenes and then through voiceover and deceitful editing, basically shaped a narrative that Michael was dangerous and implied certain things. Say in terms of the share the bed, you know, is you can have my bed if you want, sleep in it. I'll sleep on the floor, it's yours. I always give the beds to the company. But they cut it right before that so that all you hear is share your bed.
So you've always believed the interview is unethical and the allegations of Martin Bashir being unethical and deceiving Princess Diana really doesn't surprise you at all?
Unfortunately, it didn't, and we've been waiting for this since 2003. I think now the world is seeing how unethical Martin Bashir can be with forging documents. My uncle was supposed to have Final Cut. There's a document in question where it doesn't even look like my uncle's signature on it for the Final Cut. My uncle never saw the Final Cut. He was promised to see it. And so there's a lot of things that need to be investigated in that way because that documentary led to that trial, which led, I know we'll get to this.
So you think he forged the signature?
I'm saying that when that was brought up in court in 2005, he hid between the journalistic shield law and he did not answer that question.
So there's also allegations that Bashir produced a letter apparently from Diana to get the interview in the first place?
To get the trust, yeah. My uncle, you know, just like the world, adored Princess Diana. It was someone that had done great things for people, was very charitable, and was a friend. So it was almost like, well, if she's endorsing him, then I'm in good hands. And I think that was to the detriment of him in a way.
Okay.
Because when someone has sinister motives, you don't know what they're thinking, and you kind of go against your better judgment. And so that's what happened. And it wasn't just he showed it to my uncle, he showed it to my uncle's publicist and another person that was my uncle's friend, trying to get them to get a meeting with my uncle through them as well. And they gone on record and talked about it in interviews.
You say this documentary led to Michael Jackson's death. Why do you say that?
One of the main factors, yes, 100%. It's not a theory. I actually moved to Neverland during the trial, and it also tainted the one place that my uncle built to kind of reclaim his childhood. It tainted it, and so he never considered it home again, and he never considered the place that he had built that for underprivileged kids and Make-A-Wish Foundation. Now that place wasn't home anymore, so it was a man without a home. And so I think it was the start of a downfall in terms of public, I would say there was jail, and my uncle escaped that because he was innocent, and as the court said. But then there's public jail, which is, the public opinion jail. He never escaped that, and that was the problem. He couldn't do things financially and other things because in the court of public opinion, he was still in jail.
For sharing that.
I really appreciate you guys for giving me this opportunity as well.